Ew.
What's up, y'all? Sorry. Sorry. What's up, y'all?
Hey guys.
Hope everybody is cool. Um, we are working remote, as you can see.
Yep. On the
today.
road.
Yeah, Maya's all broken up still in her healing process. Are you going to give us like updates weekly on your socials?
I am. I'm starting a YouTube-esque series to talk
Okay.
about it
Okay.
and just to share the experience.
Y'all could see she was able to get up and get all dressed and glammed up and stuff. Last night she was just sitting there with some Cheez-Its and her glasses.
I was still glammed.
No,
I didn't have my earrings. I didn't have my earrings on.
You was chilling. I ain't mad at you. I don't blame you.
It's funny.
I know. Y'all please do us a favor and share if you can. While you guys are sharing, last week we kind of joked about it, but we're serious. We're going to start the sugar detox. If you're interested, please shoot us an email. You can email Maya on this one too.
They also, I posted on the Facebook page where they can click a link and fill out their information, and they can sign up that way as well.
Okay, good. Yeah, we're going to start on May the 10th. Yeah, the day after Mother's Day. The Monday after Mother's Day, we're going to start.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, look, we know human beings. So I was like, let's get the Mother's Day meal in.
Let's get through there.
Let's get through that first. And then on Monday, we'll start the actual sugar detox. And we're going to, me and Sister Desiree, we talked about it. We'll have different ones to fit different individuals' willingness. There you go. I'll put it like that. I'll put it that way.
Good.
Yeah. Some people want to be a little extra and strict. Some people may not be as strict. So we'll try to create a plan that works for everybody. And Bishop's going to join in with us. It's going to be cool. So go to our pages and sign up for it. Also, for the vaccine, if you haven't been vaccinated yet, May the 14th from 2 to 4, we will. No, we're actually creating a group for it. Like, we want to email everybody and kind of create like some Zoom stuff. We're still working on how now. Maya, me, you, and Des need to probably talk and kind of go over the technical side.
Logistics of it.
The tech side, yeah, because we want to do some Zooms and to keep people encouraged. We know people. So we'll do that. But anyway, the May 14th, we're having COVID vaccines. We posted a link on our website. We probably got to do it maybe like once a week until then.
Yeah.
For people to sign up if you want to get vaccinated. If you haven't, it's going to be on our site. Drive up, get your shot, and just keep on going.
I also want to make sure, I don't remember if we mentioned this too, for the detox. We're having a Zoom call on Saturday at 11 just to go over a little bit more details with everyone, right?
Yep. Yeah, Saturday at 11, we'll go over details, talk to you about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. I'm going to be on the more strict one. I'm doing no sugar. None. But we have one where people that have like blood sugar issues, and you can do, we're going to talk about that. If you have, you got like blood pressure issues or blood sugar issues, you talk to your doctor first before you do it.
Yeah.
But those
That's
people,
important.
Yeah, but those people, like Maya, that need like a little sugar fix every once in a while, like we'll have a plan where it's like you can have a little bit of honey, like raw honey, not like the high sugary honey, But we'll go over it because some people.
I'm open to it. I want to do it.
I know. I'm teasing you. What's up, y'all? So y'all come on in. Welcome. So we're talking about the sugar detox. Just shoot us an email. The link is on our Facebook and Twitter and Instagram page too. You can click on it and we'll get ready for the Zoom on Saturday at 11. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm tired.
Hey, Robin. Thanks. I'm doing good.
Hey. All right. So Okay. I kind of referenced it last night, and we'll talk about it. So we're probably gonna do a whole live on it. And since we've been doing this whole mental health thing, I'm starting to think, from talking to people, listening to people, the struggles that people are having with this season.
Yeah.
Because of the different traumas. Not like, sometimes I wonder if people are going to need, some people, not everybody, some folk don't care if they're going to need some kind of PTSD, therapy after this is over.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are some people who, they either got COVID and are struggling with the psychological effects of it and afraid to catch it again, or just, the whole situation is running through their head.
It's a lot.
Every time you go on social media, somebody else that you either somebody passed away, or somebody somebody they love passed away, and it's like every day, as soon as you open it up, it's like, regret to inform you, I'm sorry to hear about this. It's like people are really having a hard time, not with just grieving death, but just grief in general.
Right. No, it's a lot, and I think for some, you're not even realizing how much of an impact it's making on you. Like, for example, I was watching an episode of Grey's Anatomy, and of course they're, talking about the experience of being a doctor during this time of COVID. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, why am I crying? Like, all of a sudden, it's like, wow, this is really, I know you say I cry all the time at everything.
No, I'm just listening.
But like, I realize like how deep, and how much of an impact just this whole season, this last year and a few months have really made an impact on things, and the grief and seeing loved ones go and having friends losing and having that affect you too.
Yeah. I think the time we did the COVID panel with the two doctors from Jefferson, when the one lady said that when she worked in the emergency, the ICU units, where people were dying and stuff, and the tone of her voice when she started talking about it, it was like, you can tell it was like a really hard thing. And when she started talking about the regret people had, when they were like, all I did was go out to eat, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal, and they're, the regret they had, that guilt is a lot.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is. We just had like a real popular musician, not just in this area, but just all over. He played for Israel. Of course, most of us in this area know, because he played for Ty Tribbett when Ty was living up here. When Ty with GA, Paris Bowens, and he passed away from COVID.
Wow.
40 years old.
Yeah.
They're saying the hospital is being filled with a lot more young people because they're not taking that seriously.
Right.
But I think it's like, people are like, I'm tired of COVID. I'm tired of sitting in the house. If I catch it, I catch it. And it's like, you don't want to catch this, man.
No, it's not worth it. Oh, you okay there?
Yeah, I'm good.
No,
I should put my Bluetooth thing. Good.
It's not worth it. Like, of course, I get it, the need of just wanting to get out the house and to see your friends or whatever, but to risk it at this point, for me, is not worth it.
Yeah.
It's still too soon.
Yeah. I mean, there are people that never got it. They're getting it now. They were playing it safe, or or they weren't playing it safe and it finally just caught up to them. The thing is, this virus is so easy to catch. The goal is to try to not put yourself in positions where it's easy to catch, where if you happen to get it, it's like, well, I did everything I was supposed to do and I still somehow got it, rather than, well, I may catch it, so let me just go out here and just live anyway.
Yeah. I think it's that, but also, which has been my concern, is that I feel like things as they are have started to become our new normal.
Yeah.
And I think when that happens, we get a little bit too comfortable with going out, or, our safety measures.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's something that we need to refocus on too, is this isn't normal. We have to be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Amanda, how you doing? Tell your mom I said hello.
Hey.
And hey, Lena. And I think it's just, so between people getting frustrated with COVID, they're like, look, I'm just ready to live. I don't care, and
that's so funny.
Right. That's how they really are. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
and then the people who, you know, are battling with all of the trauma, just everything. We've never been in a pandemic before. So so we're all still learning the blueprint.
Yeah.
For the most part, we got the basics down because, you know, some stuff we should already know of how to manage a long-term season like this. You expect people to start kind of, how can I say, either get to the point where the pressure becomes too much and some are actually breaking under the pressure. But I think that's where, you know, we need to make sure we're prayed up in our word.
Yeah.
Careful what we tune in. Know when to turn social media off. Because sometimes it can become overwhelming with all bad news and all this stuff. And, you know, you may find a funny thread and just, you know, laugh at that. But, you know,
yeah,
I think it's important to know when to just say, you know what, let me turn everything off, kind of get into a quiet place by myself and get myself together.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to know what your triggers are, what's going to set you off.
Absolutely. Because, like, I remember one day I went on, it was like back to back. This one, just somebody died, somebody sick, pray for this person. I said, you know what? Let me pray for all these people and let me log off for a while. Like, you know?
But no, you really have to do that because it's just so, like, it's everywhere you look, right? And it's overwhelming. It's a lot. Yeah. And that's, for me, someone who hasn't had, you know, COVID touch me or anyone in my family personally, but I can't imagine seeing all that and then having to experience it at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah. I've had a few family members that got it. One was hospitalized. You know, thank God they made it through. And some of them were senior citizens too.
Wow.
Thank God they made it through. You know, one's like in her 80s and just, you know, thank God she made it through. So it eventually touches everybody some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Either somebody close, somebody distant, a friend, you know, whatever. But I think that, you know, not even just the COVID piece, all the stuff with the police that's going on.
Yes.
And in the culture, it feels like we're having a whole lot of stuff converge all at one time.
All at one time, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people are experiencing the trauma of the COVID, the trauma of the political stuff, the trauma of social stuff, the trauma of work, on top of what you're already dealing with when COVID's not here. All of that together is really is weighing heavy on people, because grief is not just when a loss of a person, loss of opportunity, loss of moments, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll be 40 this year. I've never been a big birthday person. Like, yeah.
You better celebrate that big 40.
It's 40. I've never been a big birthday. I never planned my birthday stuff. I'm like, why first off, why I got to work on my own birthday? I never understood that. Some people like doing that. They go all out. Why am I stressed on the day you celebrate me?
Have someone plan it for you.
But then I'm also picky too. That's like, I don't like that. But
you can't have it both ways.
I know. But I mean, I think, you know, some people, I try not to minimize people's feelings too much. Because they are real. Even if I may not always agree with people's feelings, you still got to acknowledge them.
Yeah.
But some people are really having, like, you know, I know me, I'm cool. So I'm like, I'll be 40 this year. If I don't know nothing big, who cares? Like, you know, as long as I'm around the right people, I get some sleep, I'm easy to please.
Yeah.
Some people, they want, you know,
the glitz and the glamour.
This is the second year in a row. And yeah, you put things in perspective. Just be glad you're alive. But that doesn't minimize the feelings of plans that you had that you can no longer do. And it just, you know, all I'm saying is, I think in this season, this is where I'm really trying to get to. I think we forget that faith allows us to process our feelings. We're so quick to jump to faith answer that we forget faith. I know the answer. Now let me process my feelings rather than jumping right to, you know, boom, you know, here's the answer. Boom. This is what it is. Boom. The Bible says, boom. Yeah, do that, but also learn to process how you feel.
Well, that's how you deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's important. Yeah. And then, like, I was watching something the other day about people who were pregnant during the pandemic, and they had to go to all, like, the prenatal, whatever it's called, appointments before the baby was born. And, like, that's a big life experience that dads and people missed out on that I think would be hard to cope for me.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's all about how you not perceive it, but like what you do with it. Because I'd rather be alive and with my child than not having to do that at all.
Right. But in a lot of those, you're right. A lot of those expectations were disappointed. Like, some women, they're on their second pregnancy or their first one, and their husband couldn't go with them on appointments. They couldn't, especially in the beginning, they couldn't go in there to the labor room.
Yeah.
One lady, she had COVID and gave birth, and she had to isolate from her baby for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Right after giving birth, they took the baby right out, treated both of them, and that 2 week period is a strong bonding time.
Yeah.
So there's a whole lot of complex traumas that people are dealing with, where, especially those of us who aren't dealing with it, it's easy for us to say, we'll just do this.
It's no big deal. Yeah.
Right. Versus, like for my kids, I was at just about every single monthly appointment. And I couldn't imagine, dropping her off or she driving and just, oh, how was it? And I couldn't be there for.
Yeah. And God forbid, like, there be something wrong to not be able to give that support.
Yeah. Because you're right. And then once they start allowing another person in, then it kind of helped out. But it's just, it's a lot, and a lot of people are having to make some very difficult decisions. Some very hard, Bishop talked about it last night, some hard decisions because of, personal choice of what's going on with them or someone they're connected to. We're all cautious about certain situations we put ourselves in.
Yeah.
And having to draw a line and say, look, I love you, but I just can't do this right now.
Right.
Yeah. And you feel bad and it hurts you, but it's just,
That's what you have to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I really trying to work my way to was faith allows you to process your feelings. And a lot of saints have repressed issues, and we wonder why they're losing it because they don't process anything. I believe God, praise the Lord. Well, let's kind of work through how you really feel that will lead you to that point.
Yeah.
And that's what the Psalms are all about. The Psalms are all about people processing their grief and their pain that lead to a solution. You got a whole book almost devoted to people processing stuff to get to the answer. I got to tape some more stuff too. So just
it's good. We're good up until next Monday. So.
Oh no, you're gonna have a whole lot. You're gonna be up for you're gonna have 2 or 3 weeks worth.
Good. So, but I do think part of the problem in that is that sometimes people don't know what they're feeling in order to even process it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it displays as being angry when it's really, I'm sad and I'm hurting. So then how do you even begin to understand what it is that you're actually feeling?
I think you get to the root of why you're feeling. You have to be a good self-talker. Let me start there. You have to be a good self-talker. So if I'm upset about something, okay, why are you upset? This is literally how I talk to myself. Why are you upset? So. Okay. So are you upset more about this, or is there something else? And then I start kind of processing, praying, thinking, why is this really making you feel so upset?
Yeah.
Is it really that deep? Like I'm literally talking to myself. Yeah. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not angry. Maybe I'm just grieving.
Right.
Like you said, maybe you have to have those conversations to get to the root of. Like, for instance, you ever woke up and you knew you were just off from the moment you woke up.
Bad day.
Yeah, and you're super sensitive about everything. Everything gets on your nerves that day.
Yeah.
When you're that aware of yourself, you kind of have this. You kind of walk into life saying, you know what, this happened. If this was yesterday, I wouldn't be this upset. But because I'm having an off day, this is bigger than what it is. So you kind of just put it in perspective. It ain't that deep. It's me.
Taking ownership for it too.
Yeah, I'm just angry today, and everything's making me mad. Does that mean it's everybody else's fault, or I'll be okay tomorrow? So I think our self-talk and self-awareness is really, really, really good.
Yeah.
You got to. Yeah.
So I was gonna say you have to take that ownership too and say, okay, no, it's not how people are treating me, it's just me and how I'm receiving it. And then too, what are you giving out of that, whatever feeling you're feeling that day?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because that could be like a whole circle of things.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not other people's fault we're having a bad day.
Right.
And we can't take out on them because our day feels all jacked up. You know, we woke up on the wrong side of the bed, as it used to say. There's nobody else's fault.
Yeah.
You know, like I know when I'm feeling a little off, I'm usually a little more quiet that day because I don't want to say something. I don't want something to come out my mouth that doesn't need to be said.
Uh-oh.
Like if I'm really, really, really tired, I'll make sure I stay more quiet. So, because you know, when you're really tired, the what's the word? That little switch that turns off from caution to whatever. Who cares? Just say it. It's not there.
Right.
No problem. Tell myself no problem. But I think that's, you have to know yourself enough to know. Today I'm not as patient, so I need to be extra patient. Today I'm not as into it, so let me smile a little more. You know, not being fake, but let me just not let what I'm feeling dictate how I respond to everything today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then how do you, once you understand your feelings, how do you begin the process of processing the situation that you're in?
It depends on what it is. So kind of throw an example out real quick, if you can come up with one real fast.
Oh goodness. So, we were just talking about COVID. So you lost a loved one.
Okay, so somebody
you prayed to God. You prayed to God, and they still passed.
Right. Okay, that's a good question. Yeah, that's where I was looking for a filter. Yeah,
yeah.
Filter's not as good. This is where like I saw somebody posted, like when Paris passed away, you know, a couple other people passed away from COVID. We prayed, we did everything, we believed God, we trusted God, and it still happened. My belief is this: we believe God for the impossible and trust him when his decision making is not the one we want it to be. I kind of posted about this a couple of days ago when old saints used to say, God is too wise to make a mistake. He's sovereign. You know, those are statements of trust. And when you live long enough with God, you start to trust him like that and say, you know what? I believed him for this. When my prayer request hits God's no, my faith has to turn into complete trust and say, look, God, this is what God definitively is going to decide. And it just is what it is. And faith allows me to process my feelings through trusting God in it. It may not make sense to me. I may be a little angry about it or a little frustrated about it. I may grieve about it. But I learned again, that's what the Psalms are all about. It's processing. Yeah. I'm upset with what you decided, God, but I'm going to trust you through this whole thing. You know, so we love the faith that changes, but there's also a faith that accepts and trusts. That says, okay, God, if you chose not to do this, but I trust you through it. There's a purpose or reason for everything. You knew before I knew. You know, and it's not, you know, especially if you prayed, you believed, you trusted, and it's like, well, it's the final decision. Like I remember my grandfather passed away. I left the hospital. I said, you know what? That's the last I'm gonna see him. I didn't like it, but it was like, okay, God, I trust you with it.
Yeah.
You know, so I think there's that balance of faith that we need to remember.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking too, because I think sometimes when we use words like faith and trust, we think that it's going to be 100% the way we want it. But when I think of those words, that means that there's a possibility that it's not going to go the way that I want. And I think that's the part that we need to remember, that trusting and having faith means things may not turn out the way that I'm hoping for, but I know in the end it's going to be to God's glory.
Absolutely. And, you know, no parent gives their child everything they ask for. I don't know why we think God's the same way. Like he's going to give us everything we want all the time. It's not how it works. The other thing I was thinking about, I'm actually writing my final paper somewhat on this. Is it's not that, how can I say this? It's not that we like death, right? Because we want everybody that we love to stay alive for all of eternity here on earth with us, you know, or we die and let them mourn us, right?
Right.
You know, that's how we. That's literally what we feel. How we say, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think as a Christian, we have to remember how God views death. You know, how God views it. Paul says in Philippians chapter 1, he says, whether I live or whether I die, watch this, it glorifies God.
Right. Some
people read that statement and try to dismiss it because they think, well, in death, how can God be glorified? Because, you know, God didn't raise everybody. He didn't resurrect everybody that died on the earth at that point in time. So Paul acknowledged that even my death is an act of worship.
Yeah.
And we quoted at funerals all the time. I fought the good fight. I kept the race. He's I'm ready to be poured out. He uses a drink offering analogy, which is an offering of worship. So Paul says my death is a worship to God. And a lot of Christians don't see it that way. I think that's why he was able to accept it when the time came. Because he knew this is it. They tried to stone him. It didn't kill him because it wasn't time.
Right.
He was on a ship. It fell apart. They didn't drown. They all got on boards. It wasn't time. But when he got to Rome, he said, it's time. And God's not going to change his mind. And I'm going to accept it. And watch this. It's an act of worship.
Right.
It's not what we want, but it's what God wants. Excuse me. If we start viewing from that standpoint, Jesus teaches us how to accept it.
Right.
You know, where we don't fear death as Christians.
Right.
You know, that's what he teaches us. Excuse me. And I believe in resurrection. I believe God can do all those things. I think just when all of us are going to have a time. And are you going to see it as this is my last act of glorifying God here on earth? It's all about your perception.
Yeah, it's true.
It's all about your perception.
Like I saw a comment about like Reverend Waters and how he was doing so good, and then the cancer came back. And I know, like for me, that was like a faith thing. Like, what's going on? But like, you have to see God in all of it, and how even in that journey, I'll say, his life was an example of faith, and that lives on past him.
And this is a part of paper, like the way a lot of the apostles and the early church fathers saw death was an act of faith. They were like, yo, I mean, look at it. Stephen is being stoned in the book of Acts, right? And Jesus stands up. The heavens open up to accept him in. He didn't stop the stoning.
Yeah.
So did Stephen lack faith at that point in time? No. He viewed his martyrdom as an act of faith and as an entrance for Jesus to welcome him into the kingdom.
Right.
So I've been researching this for the past month about this whole martyrdom thing, and it's going to doing my paper. My final paper is due in May. So, you know,
that's real soon.
Oh, you tell me. So I got a few research pieces left. I'm gonna start really writing this week. But you know, it's May 15th, so I got about 3 weeks.
Okay, you got some time.
Yeah. So we learned. It's not that you like it. It's not that Stephen felt good when they were stoning him. That had to hurt.
Yeah.
But in that moment, Jesus says, "Hey, I'm going to welcome you in." So I think as Christians, we need to understand. You know, we need to understand the biblical perspective of death and when it is our time, how to respond in that moment.
Right.
You know, it's not that you always like it, but I guess all of us have a day. You know?
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Yeah. So, and that's something you said that I was going to kind of bring up in my paper too, is that God's in everything. You know, he's a healer and he's a comforter. Why does he call himself a comforter? Because when he doesn't heal, he comforts. I mean, well, let me correct that. He does heal, just not the way we want him to heal.
Right.
So like Reverend Waters, other people we love that passed on, death is the ultimate healing for a Christian. We wanted them healed down here. He wanted them healed with him.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. And then he says, for those left behind, I will be your comforter during this time to help you through all of this.
Mm-hmm. You know? And that is like the ultimate example of fatherly love. You mm-hmm. know, I might not give you all of what you want, but I'm going to be here to support you in the times that I don't.
Yep. The way you want me to. Mm-hmm. Yep. And I'll comfort you. I'll help you. You know, I'll be a strong tower for you. All these things I'll be to you. Mm-hmm. He tells us that because salvation does not stop the human experience. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It doesn't stop the human experience. And I'll use this as an example. I remember years ago, I mean, some people still teach this, unfortunately. Years ago, got into discussion with some people where they believe that if a Christian dies of sickness, they don't have faith. They're literally teaching people that if a Christian dies from sickness, they lacked faith. Their belief is if you have faith, God is always going to heal you. And when you do die, it's from like natural causes in your sleep, you know. And here's my thing.
What's the foundation for that, though?
Because they believe that, you know, they take a few verses that whatsoever you shall ask and kind of run with it, mm-hmm. you know. But the thing is, first, number one, every Christian dies of something. Mm-hmm. And if you die of natural causes in your mm-hmm. sleep, guess what that means? Something stopped working.
Right.
Hello? So something stopped working. That means something happened in your body to cause it not to work. So did that person lack faith? I think it's foolishness, and it teaches people, it prepares them for disappointment.
Right.
So, I mean, it just, you know, for the sugar detox, we're trying to do no substitute sugars because they're actually worse than regular sugar. You might as well eat some sugar. But I think that's I did a whole study on death once and how God views it and how he wants us to see it. Mm-hmm. And I got to go back over and look at it again.
No, I think that's good. That's kind of like Revelations because we don't know it or have us like a clear understanding of it. Yeah. It's something we try to shy away from.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I think because a lot of Christians fear it. Mm-hmm. And I get it. Nobody wants to die like now.
Of course not.
We all want to live long and we want to enjoy life. I'm not saying that at all. It's just, again, everybody's going to have a time. And how are we going to respond to it? I think we pray for God to heal people on earth. Mm-hmm. You know, and if he decides to take them with him, we trust him in that process. And trust him to walk us through the grieving process too.
Right. Right.
You know, I think that's important. I think it's very important. Because if not, we'll miss some big opportunities.
Definitely.
You know.
Definitely.
And you've had some people who lost faith in God because of that. Somebody loved passed away, and it's like, well, I thought, you know, if I prayed, God was going to heal the person, and they stopped believing in God after that. And it's like, wow. part of believing in God is not just when he responds the way you want him to. Part of believing in God is just believing in God. Right. You know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's so sad, though.
Yeah. 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 You okay? Oh.
I'm good.
All right. I was like, what happened? But you know, it's interesting, like, you know, some people, Robin brought up something about feels too soon at 71. Some people, we need to work on our wording. Mm. We say things like, oh, they lived to be 105. They had a good life.
Well, that's not going to negate everything.
Right. Thank you. That means I have 105, whatever, however long I've been alive compared to this person.
Right.
Say it was 60, 70 years of good times, whatever, with this person. So the morning is going to be hard too. But they're like, oh, well, they died at good old age. There's no need to be sad. Like, hello? Hello. You more people you've known for 15 years. Imagine 70 years of knowing this person. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So like, come on, y'all. The saints need to do better at what they say when people pass away.
Mm-hmm.
Don't cry, they're in heaven. No, you got people all crazy and stuff.
But that goes back to people not wanting to own their feelings.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I've been to funeral. They told me, stop crying, believe God. At the funeral.
Wow.
Y'all stop all that crying. We believe God. They're in heaven now. That doesn't mean you can't grieve. Like, come on.
That's terrible.
Yeah, I'm like, golly, y'all. Like, you know. But anyway, that's me. We see a lot of Christians who are believers, but they're walking around with a lot of issues that haven't been dealt with because they just haven't processed them. Mm-hmm. They just bury them and call it faith. And it's like, you're not, they're reacting in these bad ways because they're just burying their issues rather than actually dealing with them.
Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of questions about the detox. All right, listen, y'all. Can you put the email in the chat just so
I could put the email and I could put the link to register too.
We'll put the email and the link to register. We'll have all the information for you on Saturday, okay? On what we can and can't do Saturday 11 o'clock. So just email us or click on the link and we'll have it through. All right. So email that or click on the link and you'll get the information about the sugar detox. Now, so a lot of Christians need to work on how they say stuff.
And that, I feel like that's really important because especially when someone's in their most vulnerable, time, that can make or break things for them.
Yeah. And I think a lot of Christians mean well, but meaning well doesn't mean you say stuff. It's just, I really think they do. I think some of them mean well. Well, they're in heaven right now, but I don't want them in heaven. I want them here with me right now.
Yeah.
Sweet Essence, we just put the link in the link is right in the comment section.
Mm-hmm. So it's in the comment section, and also if you go to Bethany's Facebook and Twitter page, you'll see the link there as well.
Yeah.
That you can put your information in, and we'll email you with the Zoom link.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the main page.
Yeah. So, that's all I really wanted to share. I believe that God, the Bible says there's safety in the numbers of counselors. Sometimes you got to find somebody to talk to, process your feelings, work through stuff. It's okay to get help.
Yes.
That's really just, I'm still working on that paper. It's going to be pretty interesting.
I know. I want to read it. It sounds like it's going to be good.
I hope so. I hope it's going to be interesting. It's just, there's a biblical basis for some stuff. And I just, we shall see. Anything else before we run?
No, I don't think so. You want to start sharing some news of what's happening this week or the next couple of weeks? So this Sunday coming up, we're having our Women's Day. Yay. We have a guest speaker who will be joining us. And also for our Engage Live time, we're going to have a guest panel featuring some women who are going to talk about the message. So that's going to be fun. And also coming up, and this is what I need to remember because I don't want to get in trouble, is Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up. Mm-hmm. So something we're doing on social media, we're asking people to submit their Mother's Day shout out. So a video, 30 seconds or less, just showing your mom some love. And if your mom has passed, you can send in a picture of your mother or a picture of yourself holding a picture of your mother that we can include in the celebration as well. So those are some of the event-focused type things that are coming up. And of course, Pastor Nick mentioned earlier about the vaccinations on May 14th, right? What's the time for that again?
2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Okay. But if we have enough people, they'll extend the time out.
Okay. Yeah. So you guys had to register. Go check out on our Facebook pages the link to register. And if enough people sign up, they will extend those times for the vaccinations. Yeah.
So, and Mother's Day, we're going to work on I'll talk to you after we end this. Do do the panel at 6 o'clock on Mother's Day again.
Okay.
Yeah.
A live panel?
No. Oh, like before. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, not live. No.
Okay, good. Cool.
But yeah, I think we did that last time at 6, right? Last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just make sure you get the vaccine information. Sugar detox stuff is there. You want to make sure you get it. We're praying for you all. We love you guys, and we'll see you. Don't forget. Oh, tomorrow night is men's thing, right?
Yep, Safe House at
Safe
7
House.
p.m.
Tomorrow at 7, Safe House. Wednesday Bible study. Nothing on Thursday.
Friday on Friday.
Did I miss the fresh thing last week? Was that last week?
Yeah.
I forgot.
It's okay. It was good.
Okay, I forgot all about it.
Okay. It was really good.
Praise the Lord. I'm glad it was. All right, y'all. See you later.
Bye.